Hello, history enthusiasts! Are you ready for a journey into the quirky world of American cuisine? Today, we're delving deep into some dishes that might just surprise your taste buds. These are the kinds of eats that make foreigners scratch their heads and say, "What on earth are they eating over there?" Stick with us as we unravel the mysteries behind 10 uniquely American foods. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more fascinating food tales. Root beer. Let's kick off our culinary adventure with root beer. Imagine a soda that tastes like a mix of vanilla, wintergreen, and licorice. Sounds interesting, right? Well, for many non-Americans, it's a bit too interesting, and not in a good way. Some describe it as medicinal or like cough syrup. The secret behind this divisive flavor? It's made from barks, roots, and herbs like sassafras and sarsaparilla. Despite its peculiar taste, root beer remains a popular drink in the US, whether you sip it on its own or turn it into a float. Chicken and waffles. Now, let's talk about a comfort food combo that might make you raise an eyebrow: chicken and waffles. Picture this: crispy fried chicken snuggled up with a fluffy waffle, and then topped with butter and syrup. To many Americans, it's the ultimate comfort dish. But for our friends from other countries, mixing savory chicken with sweet syrup might seem a little strange. The origins of this dish are a bit mysterious, but it has become a staple in certain parts of the United States. Feeling adventurous? Give it a shot and let us know what you think. Corn dogs. Next up on our culinary tour is the classic corn dog. It's essentially a hot dog on a stick, dipped in cornbread batter, and deep fried to perfection. Now, imagine trying to explain this to someone who's never encountered such a creation. For many foreigners, the idea of eating a hot dog on a stick seems a tad peculiar, not to mention the deep frying part. To add to the curiosity, it's usually served with a side of ketchup or mustard. So, it's understandable why some might find the corn dog a bit out of the ordinary. Sweet potato casserole. Moving on to a Thanksgiving tradition, sweet potato casserole. It's made from mashed sweet potatoes, butter, eggs, cinnamon, brown sugar, and marshmallows. Now, for many Americans, this is a must-have during the holiday season. But for those unfamiliar with the combination of sweet potatoes, butter, and marshmallows, it might sound a bit odd. This dish can be served as a side or even a dessert, depending on how it's prepared. It's definitely one of those dishes that you either love or, well, not so much. Hersheys Chocolate. Let's switch gears a bit and talk about something sweet: Hersheys Chocolate. Americans adore it, but for many non-Americans, there's something a little off about the taste and texture. Some describe it as wax-like and overly sweet. Now, here's the interesting tidbit: Hersheys Chocolate is formulated differently in the US compared to elsewhere. It has more sugar and fewer cocoa solids, giving it that unique flavor. So, it's safe to say that Hersheys Chocolate is an acquired taste for many outside the States. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Now, who doesn't love a classic PB&J sandwich? Americans sure do, but for those not accustomed to this combo, it might seem a bit strange. Picture sweet jelly and creamy peanut butter nestled between slices of bread. It's a pairing that might make some foreigners do a double take. But for Americans, it's a timeless combination that has been enjoyed for over a century. You can even find pre-made versions in grocery stores across the country. So, even if it seems a bit peculiar, PB&J is an integral part of American culture. Bloomin' onions. Let's take a detour into the world of fried delights with bloomin' onions. This dish consists of an onion cut into quarters, deep fried, and served with a side of dipping sauce. Now, for those unfamiliar with the concept, seeing a bloomin' onion might be a bit overwhelming. The fried batter, greasy sauce, and generous portion size can be enough to make anyone hesitant. But for many Americans, there's no better way to kick off a meal than with this crunchy and flavorful appetizer. Grits. Now, let's head down to the southern states for a breakfast staple, grits. These are a savory porridge made from ground corn. Although grits are a southern classic, their texture and flavor can be a bit tricky for foreigners to grasp. Some people enjoy them smooth and creamy, while others prefer a thicker, almost grainy consistency. The flavor is usually buttery and salty, and some folks like to spice it up with cheese or other seasonings. If you're up for a true southern experience, try adding shrimp or sausage to your grits. Love them or not, grits are sure to leave an impression on foreign taste buds. Cotton candy. Let's switch to something sweet and whimsical, cotton candy. Americans love indulging in this sugary, fluffy treat, but to many foreigners, it might be one of the most perplexing foods on this list. It looks like clumps of white fluff that are just too sweet and artificial. The flavorless wisps of sugar can be off-putting, and its sticky consistency doesn't help. Add in those eye-catching, almost synthetic pastel colors, and you've got a treat that might not be everyone's cup of tea. Processed cheese? Last but not least, let's talk about processed cheese. This is a type of cheese made from regular cheese mixed with additional ingredients like salt, emulsifiers, food colorings, preservatives, and other additives. It's pasteurized and pre-sliced for convenience. Now, for Americans, this processed cheese is a go-to topping for burgers and sandwiches and a key ingredient in macaroni and cheese dishes. But for many non-Americans, the idea of processed cheese can be a bit confusing and, well, not so appetizing. It's not real cheese, after all, and its processed flavor might not suit everyone's palate. Despite that, it remains a popular choice in many American households. There you have it, a deep dive into the fascinating and sometimes perplexing world of American foods. From unique flavors to curious combinations, these dishes have carved out a special place in American culture. What's your take on these culinary oddities? Let us know in the comments below, and until next time, happy exploring!